Part 2, Act 1, Scene 4 of Faust, A Pleasure Garden, Faust and Mephistopheles are chatting with the Emperor, who's pleased with Faust's abilities. The Empire's debts have all been paid. The army has doled out part of the soldiers' back pay. Everyone's been paid off, and they all love the Emperor again. The Chancellor appears with a promissory note for the 1,000 crowns secured by untold treasure hidden in the earth of our realm. The Emperor is shocked, saying his signature has been forged, but the Chancellor assures him that the Emperor himself signed it. The Emperor is uneasy about issuing paper money without gold in hand to back it up. But Mephistopheles tells him paper money is much easier to get and use, and Faust assures him the ground below is full of gold. The Emperor gives Faust the job of finding it. The Emperor's fool turns up. It turns out he fell down drunk, not dead. The Emperor gives him enough paper money to buy his own house and land. In Part 2, Act 1, Scene 5, A Dark Gallery, Faust accuses Mephistopheles of avoiding him. The steward and the chamberlain are insisting Faust use his powers to conjure Helen and Paris. Mephistopheles says it's not an easy feat to conjure Helen's ghost as it is paper money. The old pagans have their own hell, and only the goddesses known as the Mothers, who live outside of place and time, can get Helen out. Plus, Faust will have to do it. Mephistopheles gives Faust a key that will lead him to the Mothers, as well as directions to the underworld, and Faust sinks out of sight. When the Emperor wants to be cautious about paper money, Mephistopheles talks him into accepting it. Goethe himself knew that issuing paper money was an indication that a government was in bad shape. Act 1, Scene 4 of Part 2 can be understood as a criticism of the French Revolutionary Assembly, which issued more and more paper currency, which only made the country's financial situation worse. In Act 1, Scene 5, readers learn that the divide between the medieval Germanic North and the classical South extends well beyond cultural traditions. Although he's the devil, Mephistopheles' power is limited. He cannot access classical gods and has no control over classical shades. This dichotomy will appear many times in Part 2.